go.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I've got a question about Pedro Grifol.
Okay.
You said that Pedro is back, but you also said at the start of the press conference there are no untouchables. Why make the decision on Pedro Grifol already?
Well, the no untouchables comment was more on our roster, 40-man roster. I do believe that the players that are here and going to be here need to know who their manager is going to be. I think that there's a level of stability that puts our players in a better position to succeed. And here, in the recent past, we've had a lot of changes, obviously more changes here in the front office. And I really want our players just to focus on what they have to do on a daily basis to get ready to win a ball game.
Was that mandated by the ownership, or was that your call?
That was my call.
So why keep a guy, though, who is admittedly not instituted all of his system?
Well, it's certainly an organizational effort, and there's some work to do. I need to sit down with Pedro. Obviously, he's experienced the season now with the Chicago White Sox for the first time, and I need to talk about areas that need to be improved. But I do think that the best thing moving forward is to have him at the manager helm, and certainly I'll support him through that, but there are some areas that need to improve.
Chris, where's the biggest problem in this organization with regard to the lack of consistent winning?
I think it starts at the foundation. Earlier I spoke to, we need to look at our international, amateur, and overall just player acquisition process. Certainly there's an opportunity to look at ways to improve player development. And, oftentimes we've missed a lot of playing time with some of our key players, so we need to look at our medical. So you factor in all these different areas, and being that that's the bottom of the pyramid, all the foundational pillars of the organization, the reflection is our major league club. And obviously there's been some holes and underperformance, and, that's the buildup from within. So, I think that's where it starts. So from day one, which is today, we need to look for ways to improve in those areas.
Are you confident? Have you been assured that you will be given the resources to upgrade all of those things you just mentioned and to be a player in free agency? Because Jerry, the owner, just said this isn't going to be a long process. This has to be quickly. And to do that, I would assume, is going to take tremendous resources.
Well, Jerry's been very supportive. You look at our payroll this season, but it starts from within, and he's been very supportive so far in our conversations, and he's going to be very open-minded. I've been assured of that as well. So, there's a lot of work to do, and but this is the new chapter, and I look forward to implementing some of the ideas that I have to improve our team.
So, getting more specific on that, I saw recently that the front office and analytics department is very small for the White Sox compared to some other major league teams. Will Jerry give you the money it takes to build that out?
I think when I come to Jerry for areas that need to improve, he is definitely going to listen, and I know that where we put our resources is going to be up to me and our baseball operations department. And we're committed to doing this thing the right way.
Do you believe that that's what you need?
From an infrastructure standpoint, we definitely need to dive into the depths of the organization to make sure that we're good at the major league level. From time to time, there are going to be some gaps that need to be filled at the major league level, and then we'll have those conversations on how we fill those.
You guys have struggled to keep some of your key players healthy, and I know you've talked about putting more resources towards that. As you look at this, Chris, why can't Yoan Moncada and Eloy and some of your other players stay healthy on a consistent basis?
Well, it's it starts with the players. It starts with our medical staff. Obviously, we need to improve the communication, make sure they're off when it comes to the off season, and everyone's committed to what it takes to play 162 games. Those players are still fairly young in their careers, and it's our job to put up the guardrails and guide them to be on the field on a regular basis. And we need to challenge them, and we're going to do that.
Have they been challenged by Pedro this year?
They have been challenged, and I think that we need to continue to do that and monitor things to make sure that they're in a position to be out there every day.
As a former player, do you think that the vibe in the clubhouse is what it needs to be? Is there the appropriate amount of leadership from the player's perspective in the makeup of your team right now, where that you walk in there and you feel that the leadership is palpable?
There's definitely some opportunities to improve that. Obviously, leadership is a big piece. Culture is a big piece. Now, it starts with the players themselves. They need to take care of their business. Not everyone wants the responsibility to lead others. But when it comes down to being a professional athlete, a Major League Baseball player, it starts with each player understanding what they have to do to get ready to compete that night. Plain and simple.
Chris Getz joining us, the new general manager of the White Sox. Will Dayton Moore be joining you, Chris?
Dayton Moore is very respected around the league. Right now, he's working with Chris Young over with the Texas Rangers, and they're hoping to make a playoff run. I'm open-minded to bringing in outside perspectives to help us, but we have not had those conversations.
You know, I want you to speak to our fan base here, Chris, because this is the home of the White Sox. And a stat that I've given a lot is over the last decade plus, the White Sox have one of the worst records in baseball. With the White Sox, the Royals have one of the worst records in baseball over the last decade plus. Those are two teams you have worked for. Why should Sox fans believe that you're the solution?
Listen, I understand the skepticism. I do, and it's my job moving forward to prove otherwise. With that being said, I'm going to use my experiences both as an executive and a player with multiple organizations, and I'm going to gather all I'm going to bring in as many people from outside organizations to help me and provide clarity to our organization moving forward to improve. So, you know, certainly we want to be more consistent. We're committed to being more consistent, and it's my job to go out there and prove that things are going to be different here with the Chicago White Sox.
You know, Waddle and I have done this for a while. We've been together for going on 17 years here, and we have heard from many executives who say you can't cut corners. And we have heard from Jerry a lot today about doing this fast. Is there any worry that in doing this fast that there are corners that could be cut?
Well, we're not going to lose sight of our long-term goal, and that's winning a World Series. You know, we are fortunate to play in the AL Central, and oftentimes the division is up for grabs. So, but we're also committed to looking at every opportunity to not only help our club in 2024 and beyond. So does there need to be heavy lifting underneath within the organization? I believe that we do have our work cut out for us, but we're committed to do that. Thankfully, I think we can be competitive and improve our club for 24. But really, it's about making sure that we have a consistent club for the future years.
Chris, do you think that as fans on the outside looking in, that they will be able to see a tangible difference with the way the ball club is being run and operated with you in charge versus when Kenny and Rick were in charge?
I believe they're going to feel and see a difference, and I'm committed to be that different leader.
Chris, we appreciate your time. Best of luck, okay?
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much, guys.